We live in a world where we all admire others who seem happy with as little problems as possible. And don't get me wrong, I think it's great to want to live a good life and be the best version of yourself. But I think there's something wrong with only wanting that and seeing the lower moments in our life as a burden or something that's wrong with us. That's why today I would like to talk about the importance of sadness and pain and negative emotion. I went through a time in my life where I didn't necessarily feel very good most of the time. And eventually, when I managed to progress out of that and feel good more and more, I just kind of wanted to stay there, I guess. Feeling unmotivated and sad and not confident for so long felt so horrible that I just didn't want to go there anymore. Over time, I got to a place where I told myself that those moments are really okay. But then eventually I realized that they are not only okay, but actually a vital part of growth in life. So I've thought about 4 reasons why I think negative emotions and pain are a very important part in living a fulfilling life, and I would like to take you through them. So I see it like this. There are those people who try to live a happy life, but because they've never looked at their own pain or their own emotions, I would call it the fake happy life, because every time their surrounding maybe brings something up in them they haven't wanted to look at, they always don't feel good anymore. And then there's the real happy life, where how you feel becomes more and more independent of the things that are happening around you. For me, I have felt that to move closer towards that, I have to look at my own pain and the things that are holding me back from that. And that's not always a comfortable thing to do. For example, if you've gone through something in your life that's been kind of hard on you and you just try to ignore that and continue living your happy life, that will work for some time, but eventually, every time something outside of you happens that brings that up again, you always don't feel good anymore. So eventually one would have to look at that fear, see where it comes from, sit with it until you manage to let it go, and then you would be truly free. In Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now, he starts a chapter by saying, "Nobody's life is entirely free of pain and sorrow. Isn't it a question of learning to live with them rather than trying to avoid them?" The second thing I want to mention is that when I think of the person I am today and the moments that have shaped me into this version of me, they are mostly situations that haven't been necessarily positive, emotions of sadness or pain, or just situations that have really pushed me to my edge. It's not like I don't remember the beautiful moments. Of course, they are part of me and my memories, but I feel like they haven't played such a vital part in shaping a deeper part of me and my character. So every time I'm in a situation now that maybe doesn't feel so good, I try to remember that this moment is most likely going to catapult me into a newer and clearer version of myself. Which brings me to my next point, which is clarity. Whenever we are in a situation that doesn't feel good, we get the realization that that's something we don't want. Let's take someone going through a really bad breakup, for example. It probably feels horrible, there's no denying that. But then on the other hand, this person is most likely having a clarity or getting a clarity on what they want in a relationship and what they don't want that they didn't have before. Rather than judging myself or feeling stupid, I try to think of the clarity that is emerging from that situation regarding what I want in life or how I want to live life that I didn't have before. The next thing I've thought about is that, we always want what we don't have in life. And I think oftentimes we imagine a life without any pain and any suffering, and we think we want that. There is a very good speech by Alan Watts, which is called The Dream of Life, and he touches on a part of that really well. He's basically asking us to imagine that when we would go to sleep, we could dream one entire lifetime in one night. So of course, the first few nights where we would do that, we would fulfill all our wishes in this imaginary life. But then after several nights of dreaming an entire lifetime of only pleasures, we would say, well, that was pretty great, but now let's have a surprise. Let's have a dream which isn't under control, where something is going to happen to me that I don't know what it's going to be. And then you would get more and more adventurous, and eventually you would dream where you are now. You would dream the life that you are living right now. I love how he explains this so well, because it really makes you think about it. Pain and the growth that comes with it in life is what pushes us to become new versions of ourselves, which I think in the end makes life exciting and worth living in the first place. And wanting to control life and only feel good all the time is a nice fantasy, but I think at some point we would all want to experience more than that. But I think it's important to mention at this point that I'm not talking about all kinds of pain. I think it's necessary to be able to feel the difference difference between unnecessary pain and then pain that helps us grow. For example, if I'm in a situation again and again and again, and the negativity of it consumes me to the point where I can't get on with anything else in my life and I'm just stuck with that, I don't think that would necessarily contribute to any growth, but rather do the exact opposite. There is a TED Talk by a social psychologist where he talks about why we need pain to feel happiness, and he also touches on this unnecessary pain. He then continues to talk about an experiment where they take a group of people and split them into 3 groups by how much adversity, so how much pain and negative situations they have gone through in their life. They then ask them to hold their hand in an ice bucket. Group number 1, which has barely gone through any adversity in their life, can't really hold their hand in the ice bucket for too long. But group number 2, which has gone through a normal medium amount of adversity in their life, can hold their hand in the ice bucket for way longer, which would support my idea that pain makes you grow and makes you stronger. But then it's interesting to see that group number 3, who have really gone through a lot of adversity in their life, we're talking like really traumatizing things, can hold their hand in the ice bucket for as long as group number 1, who have barely gone through anything. So with my 4 points, I'm more trying to touch on struggles we all have and difficult moments we all have and low moments we all have. So that was all from my side for this video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to check out some other videos of mine and maybe subscribe. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you very much for watching.